So please turn to page 11, okay? We'll move on to question 14. So we'll start by sketching, right? Sketch the triangle here and solve. Solve means find all missing parts. Run the final answer to the nearest 10. Okay, so I'll let you guys draw the picture first and then fill in the measurements, okay? Label the corner with letters. Okay, once you got the picture, please raise your hand. Okay, so we have an angle of 60. So usually we put the angle on the left corner, right? So it matches our chart. 60 degrees, so the opposite side should be side A, right? So side A should be the 9. Side B is the 10, right? So B could be down here or up there, okay? But because we want to match the chart, so we will put it on the top, okay? So that way we can easily check. So this one, you're given an angle, right? You're given an angle and then a side, right? And then a side. So this is angle side side. It's an S, right? Angle side side. So when you get an angle side side, you need to see if like how many triangle, right? It's ambiguous. So your next step is to check how many solution it has. Okay, so please find the height and raise your hand when you found the height. So take out your calculator. Okay, you will need calculator to find the height. Anyone has trouble finding height? Brandon, Chris, Ivy, Waylon. Okay, Ivy, what do you have for the height?
I have 8.7.
8.7. Okay, very good. Right. So you look at the triangle. If you forgot how to do it, sine. Right. Look at sine degree. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So hypotenuse is the 10. Right. Opposite is height. What's happening? Okay. Let's try one more time. Opposite over hypotenuse. And then you punch into your calculator, cross multiply 8.7. Now we need to know which case this one is. 8.7, right? So the door, this is the door. 9 is between 8.7 and 10. I think we just went over this one, right? When we were talking about the homework. So how many solutions do we have? Angela?
2.
Yeah, this one will have 2. Okay, so between 8.7 and the 10, right? So this one is case 3. So 2 triangles. Okay, so since we know there are 2 triangles, so let's set it up so we have space for the second triangle. Okay, so I'm gonna move this a bit over. And please draw, for the second triangle it's easier, less work. So I'm gonna divide the space. So you have more space for the first triangle, okay? The second triangle is when the door swings inside, okay? If you remember from the picture here, case 3, okay? Look at case 3, we have the door, which is A equal to 3, right? You can either place it outside, right? Or you swing the door inside, then you get a second triangle, right? So keeping the same measurement, you have 2 different triangles. So let's draw the same thing here. We can swing the 9. Swing the 9, right, to inside. So our new picture for the second triangle will look like this. Angle A is still the same, it's still 60 degrees. B is still 10. A is still 10. A is, the door is still 9. Okay. Used to be outside, I'll use a dotted line. Used to be here. Okay. And then your angle B used to be here. Now the new angle B will become here. Okay. So this is gone, right? The old angle B is gone. So if you compare the new angle B and the old one, which one is bigger? Marcus, which angle B is bigger?
Wouldn't the new one be bigger?
Yeah, new one is bigger, right? It's more like wider, okay? Angle C, the new angle C and the old angle C, which one is bigger? Chris?
The old one?
Yeah, the old one is bigger, right? You can see if we swing the door inside, the angle C gets smaller, but then angle B gets bigger, okay? So you will get new answers when you are doing second triangle, okay? So I'll still highlight the door, the angle, side, and side, right? Angle, side, still an as, right? But the final answer is different, okay? So for the first triangle, we solve it the same way as before. We use the sine law, okay? Use sine law. Okay, just like the way you do question 3 in your homework. Okay, so this way, you set up the pairs and then do cross multiply. Okay, but before we begin, right, let's write down all the thing that's missing. So we are missing angle B, right? Angle B. We are missing angle C. We are also missing the side C. Okay, so let's just put a target there and then set up the ratios. Okay, A to sine A, and then B, side B, right? 10 sine B, and then we have side C and sine C. Okay, so we have 3 missing parts. So which one do we find first? Do we find the angle B, angle C, or side C? Which one should we find first? What do you suggest? Harry, what do you think? Which one should we find first?
Sine B.
Okay, so the angle B then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we look at the first two pairs and then we do cross multiply. Okay, so I'll let you guys try it. Cross multiply, isolate sine B. Okay, when you got the answer, you can raise your hand. So cross multiply. When you cross multiply, the sine B will multiply to the left, sine 60 will multiply to the right. Okay, that's cross multiply. Nine sine B equal to 10 sine 60. And then isolate sine B. So you divide both sides by 9. Okay, once you get the number for sine B, please raise your hand. Type it into your calculator. Okay, just type it into calculator. Shouldn't take that long. Okay, Jiawen, do you have a number for sine B?
0.9.
0. Can you give me 3 decimal place?
0.962.
Okay, 0.962. Very good. Okay, Evan, any questions? How to get the number?
No, I got the number.
Okay, so this is not the angle yet, right? This is for sine B. So how do I continue find angle B then? Jenny?
For angle B, you can take two sides and then
Two sides.
you can take two sides and then I think it's inverse sine or cos or tan to find the last angle.
What do you mean two sides? Which two sides are you talking about?
Hold on.
Did you get 0.962?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what to do after this to figure out sine B, to figure out angle B?
You use angle, sine B.
We already found sine B, right?
Okay.
We found
Yeah.
sine B as 0.962, but how do we continue to get angle B?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're just one step away. So to find angle B, right, you just do sine inverse
Oh, okay.
of the ratio that you got, 0.962.
Okay.
Okay, this part has to do with what we learned a few pages back, like page 8. Okay, question 11. If the ratio is not special, like this one, right? Ratio is not special, question A.
Yep.
Then you need to do inverse to get the angle, right? Sine inverse. Okay,
Okay.
so type into your
I
calculator.
got
Yeah. What do you
yeah,
have?
I got 74.
74 point.
70.154.
Okay, let's round it to the 10th. So it will be
74.2.
yeah. Okay, so equals to 74.2. So let's put that in the box now. Okay, 74.2. So what should be the next step we find? Okay, what's the next thing we should find now? Chris?
Angle C.
Angle C. Okay, so let's label the step. Okay, step 1, we use sine law. Step 2, we'll find angle C. So angle C, how do we find angle C then, Chris?
You just add 660 and 74.2.
Mm-hmm.
Then subtract that from 180.
Yep, very good. Okay, so 180 degree minus both the 60 degree and 74.2. Okay, so please raise your hand again. Let me lower your hand first. Okay, raise your hand if you got the answer for the angle C. All right, just type it in. All right, Harry, what do you have? Harry?
45.8.
45.8. Okay, very good. 45.8. So we'll fill that in, 45.8 degree. Last thing is the side C, right? So side C, then you need to look at the pairs again. You look at the first pair, 9 over sine 60, and the last pair, the pair for the C, right? So we can set it up and cross multiply it once again. So 9 over sine 60, use the pair that they give you. It's better because if you get the and what if you get angle B wrong, right? But if you get angle B wrong, your angle C will be wrong too. So everything's connected. So 9 over sine 60 and then side C over sine 45.8. Okay, so from here, please do cross multiply and solve for C. Okay, so you can type it into your calculator. Raise your hand if you get it. For this cross multiply, right? Because you want to isolate C, so you just need to multiply the sine 45.8 to the other side, right? Keep the C by itself. So when you are typing it in, it will look like 9 times sine 45.8 divided by sine 60. Okay, please round your answer to the nearest tenth. Anyone has questions? Typing it in. Raise your hand if you got the answer. Okay, Brandon and Marcus, found it yet? Okay, Waylon, can you tell us what you have? Waylon,
Oh, I got 7.5.
7.5. Yep. Okay, 7.5. Braden, do you have any question how to get 7.5? Yeah, okay. So far, right, the first triangle is nothing new, okay? It's just like your question 3 in the homework, okay? You plug everything into the sine law and you cross multiply solve, okay? Nothing new here. The new thing is how to get the answer for second triangle. Because the problem is all the measurements are the same, right? You still have 60 degrees, still have the 9 and 10. So if you try to do the setup with sine law, it won't look any different from step 1. It will just look exactly the same. So how are you going to get the different answer, right? So what should we do now, right? Because we already see the angles changed. Angle B become bigger, angle C becomes smaller. So how do we get the new angles, right? We need to get our first angle B first, right? Just like your step one before was find angle B. How do we get the new angle B? Take a look at the two pictures. Think about how they are connected. Okay, maybe some of you can figure this out, okay, without me telling you. How is the old angle B can help us find the new angle B? Now list out the missing things first, okay? You guys think about this. Look at the two pictures. How do we find a new angle B? Oh, Elaine said subtract from 180 degree. Can you tell us why? Why we subtract from 180 degree? Or anyone else want to explain? Are you able to use your mic, Elaine, or no?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. How do you
Um,
know to subtract from 180?
because if you flip it, then it would be the same, like, if you flip it, then it would, like, be the same angle
Okay.
from the bottom, but then since that bottom is the bottom anymore, the bottom is now on the other side, then you would subtract that from 180, which is a straight line.
Okay, very good. Okay. Yeah, it's difficult to explain without writing out, right? So because it swings over to the other side, so it makes, let me color it in, okay? Makes the green triangle here This triangle is an isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle means the two angles will be the same when the two sides are the same, right? They are both 9. The one on the right side was the old door, right? The left side is the new door. So you get two angles are the same. So you get 74.2 at the bottom, okay? And then what she's saying that is this part is a straight line. Part of it is 74.2. So the other part you need to take 180 to subtract. Okay, subtract the angle on the outside. Okay, if you understand this part, can you raise your hand? Okay, how to get the new angle B? Okay, so we'll write it down, new angle B. Okay, please raise your hand if you understand why we need to subtract. Okay, Ivy and Jiawen, any questions? Harry? Harry, are you there? Yeah, okay. So to get the new angle B, that's the key, right? Without this step, we cannot do anything, right? Because all your setup are the same. So angle B will be 180 degree minus the original angle B, 74.2. So that will be what? Jiawen, what's the new angle B now?
We're 105.8 degree.
Yeah, 105.8 degree. Okay, so once you got the new angle B, then we can continue to get the new angle C. Right, we're doing the same order. So step 1, right? Step 1 is to get angle B. Step 2 is to get angle C. Okay, so we do the same thing, 180 degree minus the 60 degree with the new angle B. All right, so please type it into your calculator now. And let's have Colin, okay, tell us what you got. Oh, 14, you said 14.2. How about Ivy? What do you have?
Um, I got the same.
Same, huh? Okay, yep, 14.2 then. Okay, so let's fill that in, 14.2. So that's your step 1 and 2, right? You can compare the two steps. On the left side, it's also finding angle B first, right? Same as the right side. Step 2, find angle C. So last step has to be, you have to set up again, okay? So you do the same setup, but then your angle C will be different now. So 9 to sine 60, so this is the A pair, and then the C pair. Okay, and then cross multiply like before. So let you guys figure this out now, okay? So raise your hand after you found the new size C. The new size C should be shorter, right? If you look at the picture, it should be shorter than the original one. If you get something bigger than 7.5, then that's wrong. Okay, please raise your hand if you got the new size C. Okay, Harry, what's your answer for size C?
2.5.
2.5, very good. Okay, 2.5 is correct. Okay, so that's how you solve two solutions. Okay, so the first solution is normal. And then to get a second solution, you need to find a new angle B. And to do that, right, and let me highlight that, you need to take 180 minus the original one. That's the key, okay? It triggers everything else after. Without that step, you cannot find other angle. Okay, any questions? So this ambiguous case is for acute. Okay, acute means the angle they give you, the S, right? The angle side, the angle that they give you is acute, meaning less than 90 degrees. So we have an obtuse scenario. Okay, when the angle side is the angle they give you is obtuse, bigger than 90. Okay, you also have ambiguous. So let's write it down. The angle, we'll call that theta. Okay, theta is bigger than 90, smaller than 180 degree. Okay, between 90 to 180. So it's still ambiguous. Oops. Right, still ambiguous and still a sine law. Okay, but the obtuse is much easier. You don't need to find the height. Okay, so they give you this angle here, angle A. Here is the hypotenuse, right? And then the door is the one that's opposite to the angle. So this is the door. Okay, so let's look at the two cases. This one is much easier, only two cases. The first case is when the door, let's say we make up a number, okay? Angle A. Okay, how big do you want this angle to be? Elaine, how big do you want angle A to be?
100.
Sure, okay, let's call that 100 degree, all right? And then the side B, how long do you want it to be, Braden? Let me see, huh? You want 15? Okay, let's put 15, okay. 15. And then the door, okay, the door is the side A, okay? The first case is when the door is shorter or the same as the hypotenuse. Okay, let's call this hypotenuse. So, Evan, what number do you want the door to be?
10.
10? Okay, so shorter than 15, right? So if
Yeah.
yeah, let me draw it out. Right, this one is 15. So 10 will be, let's say, about here. So if it's 10, no matter where I put the 10, it's never going to touch the other side, right? Because it's too short. Okay, it will be floating in the air. Okay, so that's what happens. So the door, which is 10, it's too short, right? Too short. Too short. If it's 15, it cannot touch as well, right? Let's say if it's 15, right? 15 will be looking like this, but once I lift it up, right, it won't touch the base anymore, okay? So, all right, so this one, you will say no solution, right? Too short to make a triangle. Right, let's keep the same measurement here. So angle, side, side, angle, side, side. Okay, so we have a side of angle 100 again. Hypotenuse is still 15. Second case is when the door is longer than hypotenuse. Okay, so Jiawen, can you pick a number for the door?
20.
20, okay, so here's our 15. 20 will look something like that, right? So if I want to make a triangle, I will need to swing it to here, right? If it's 20. Make sense, right? In order to close it. So that means your base will be shorter, right? So your triangle will look like this one, right? So if the door is 20, because the other side, the side C, it doesn't tell you what measurement it is, right? So it could be long, could be short, okay? It's not fixed. So if they give you a measurement of door longer than hypotenuse, then that's the only way to draw it out. So this is one solution. Okay, so that's all, right? Pretty easy. You don't need to find the height. There's no two triangle, right? If it's two triangle, it's a lot of work, right, to solve. So let's try one questions, okay? For question 15, you can see that they give you an angle A of 120. That's an obtuse. We're gonna solve this one. Angle side side, right? We can see angle, right? Angle and the door is the one opposite, right? And then side. So when we draw this out, we try to draw it the same way we learned it, right? We put the angle at the left corner, 120 degree, right? This is our angle A. And then the door is 15, right? Door is 15, so right here, kind of too long, huh? This makes a bit more sense. Okay, so this side is the door, 15. This one is the hypotenuse, 10. So you can see the door is longer than hypotenuse. So one solution. Okay, if you see if the door is like say 7, then you just write no solution, then you're finished. Okay, now because you get one solution, you need to continue to apply sine law. Okay, so you set up the sides, the pairs. We are missing angle B, right? And angle C. And also side C. All right, so I'll let you take care of this part. And then after we go over the answer for this, then we'll have a break, okay? So when you finish the whole thing here, get the final answer for this one, raise your hand. So basically you follow the first triangle, okay, of question 14. Okay, you follow exercise 14, first triangle. Okay, I want to check the setup first, okay? Okay, Colin, can you tell us your setup of the sine law? Okay, 15 over sine 120. Okay, and then 10 over sine b. Okay, very good. And c over sine c. Okay. All right, very good. Anyone else finished? You can raise your hand. So we need to start with finding angle B first, okay? You cannot find angle C first because you're missing side C. You got to find the one that has only one missing. Okay, Angela, have you found angle B?
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me the steps?
You cross multiply the two.
Okay, so can you tell me how to write it out?
15 times sine b equals 10 times sine 120.
Yeah.
And then you divide both sides by 15.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
So 10 sine 120 over 15.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then you solve that.
Which is
0.577.
577, and then?
And then you you do the thing where you make it like sine, what is it? Sorry, it's like sine negative.
So we call that sine inverse.
Yeah, sine inverse.
Yeah.
0.577.
Yeah. And
Uh,
you get
I got 35.2.
35.2. Okay.
Yeah.
You. Okay. How about Chris? Do you have the same angle B, 35.2?
Yes.
Yeah, you have the same. Colin, how about you? Let me see, huh? Okay. There, yeah, the same. Okay, good. 35.2. So next thing we need to find is the angle C. Okay, first step, second step. Okay, Marcus, can you help us find angle C? Have you found it yet?
Yes, 24.8.
24.8. How did you find it? Can you tell me the steps?
Um, 120 plus 35.2 minus 180.
Plus 35.2 and then minus from 180. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So 24.8. Okay, anyone else got different? Should be okay, huh? Okay, last part is to set up the pair again. Find the missing angle, missing side C, okay? Remember to use the original pair, okay? The first pair, 15 to sine 120, okay? It's better because there's no rounding, okay? If you use the B pair, there's a rounding, so your final answer will be off more than the other one. Okay, so C sine 24.8. Okay, please raise your hand if you finish the whole thing. When you do the last cross multiply, okay, you only need to multiply the denominator over, okay? It's faster. Okay, Elaine, Harry, Heavy, Jenny, almost done. Okay, so Jenny, how do you find side C?
Side C, I used the I cross multiplied, so sin 24.8 times 15, the 15 is first.
Yeah, and
then you divide both sides by sine 120, sorry.
so divide by sine 120. What do you have then?
I got 256.34.
Say that one more time.
256.34.
200. Wow, that long?
Yes.
I don't think the triangle can be that long. The other two sides are only 10 and 15.
Yeah, so
Okay.
retry.
Yeah, tapping again. Okay. Side C should be pretty short.
I'm not sure what it is because I just got the same number.
Okay, make sure you're in degree mode. Do you see
Yes.
mode
Yeah, I see DEG at the top.
Okay, and then you type sine 24.8,
Yep.
right? And an equal, right? Make sure you get the number first.
Yes.
Divide by, times 15.
Yes.
And then divide by sine 120.
Okay, I got 7.26, which is rounded to 7.3.
7.3. Okay, let me double check. Angela, what do you have for size C?
I got 7.6 sorry, 7.3 as well.
7.3 as well. Okay, okay. How about Ivy? How about you?
got the same.
Same, huh? Okay, should be fine. Okay, all right. So that finished all the sine law. Okay, so sine law is a bit complicated, right? Because you get ambiguous, it can be unique. Okay, so before I let you go for a break, let's make a summary. Otherwise, right, too much stuff in under sine law. Okay, because after the break, we're gonna talk about cosine law. It's much easier, but let's summarize this first. Okay. So when they give you a triangle, you need to decide whether you need to choose sine law or cosine law, okay? Sine law, you will use it if they give you a pair, okay? They give you at least a pair. So you can see that whenever we set up, there's always a pair. That's complete, right? You have a side. A pair means a side and the angle, okay? You must have at least a pair. So I would like you to turn to page 15. Okay, this is a sine law flow chart. Okay, so we will start with given a pair or not, right? So you put a question mark. Okay, this is the first question you should ask yourself. When you get a question, do you have a pair? So if the answer is yes, then you need to go to sine law. You know this question needs sine law to find. Okay? So that's the first question. So that means if the answer is no, then has to be cosine law. Okay? So that's after the break. Okay? Once you know it's sine law, now you need to decide whether it's ambiguous or not. Okay, by now you should know how to decide, right? How do you know it's ambiguous or not? Can anyone answer me? How do I know this picture is ambiguous or not? Nobody? Then we need to learn the whole lesson again. Okay, somebody is answering now. Let me see. By the triangle.
You find the height and compare it to the lengths of the two sides.
You find the height and compare. That's after you know it's ambiguous. You don't have to do this all the time. Okay, it depends on what's given. What kind of question? What kind of information is given so you know?
Oh, the side angle.
Yes, yeah, the S, right? Angle, side. Yeah, Angela also answered it, right? If the question only gives you angle, side, then you need to start to check ambiguous. Otherwise, it's a very simple question. You just plug it in, you get the answer, okay? So first question is to check, do you have a pair or not? Once you know you have a pair, then you need to ask the second question. Are we given an S? Right? So this is the second question. So if the answer is no, right, we don't have an S, right? If the answer is no, then that means your triangle is unique. Unique means there's only one way to draw it, okay? You don't need to think about the height. You just plug everything into the triangle, into the sine law. So you just start using sine law. Okay, use sine law, plug into the pairs and then solve all the missing parts, okay? But if you are given an S here, right? So if the answer is yes, right? You have an S, then this is an ambiguous. Okay, ambiguous means we don't know how many triangles we have. However, ambiguous, we divide it into two categories. Does anyone know which two groups? What kind of angle? One kind is what? Anyone? We just learned it.
and obtuse?
Yes, very good. Okay. Either the angle they give you is acute or they give you obtuse. Obtuse. Okay. This flow chart is very important. Okay. Nobody organized with the flow chart. Okay. And it gets too overwhelming when you study this, right? So acute, once you know it's acute, then you would have the four things. You find the height, right? So you have the door, shorter than height, door equal to height, door bigger than height, shorter than hypotenuse, and door longer than hypotenuse. Door longer or equal. Yeah, okay. So this one, you have less than hypotenuse will be no solution, right? This one is one solution, this one is two solution, this one is one solution. Okay, make sure you copy this down. And then obtuse. Obtuse, we just covered that. Obtuse, only two cases, right? There's no door. You just compare the door, there's no height. You just compare the door. If the door is too short is less than equal to hypotenuse. Long means longer than hypotenuse. Okay, then you get one solution and no solution. Be careful where the equal is, okay? I've used the red. Okay, so we have two main questions here, okay? First question you need to ask, do you have a pair or not? That tells you separate the sine law and cosine law. Once you get to sine law, you ask, do we have an S, right? If it's not angle side side, then you just start using sine law, okay? So you can raise your hand after you copy this chart, okay? Anyone has question, let me know. And then we'll have a break until 3 o'clock. Okay, so finish copying this chart and go for a break.